ahead and look at two up-and-comers very quickly. We have BearFortress, who was gracing the mic a moment ago against Element. Now, Element, I do love commentating with both of these folks. You know, Element has a really chill, laid-back sort of style. But he's one of those folks who, every time I talk to him, is almost like the wanderer of sorts, right? Like, he's still in the desert, and he's still trying to figure out which way really to go. So we're probably going to be seeing a couple of different character switches from him.
Okay.
I'm not sure who to expect from him, honestly, this time, just because he's one of those players that strikes me as the type that switches things up every now and then, just to figure out what really works for him and what doesn't. BearFortress, on the other hand, really cerebral player. We've seen a lot of his work on the mic, but what we haven't seen too often, actually, is his Falcon, and that's his main. I don't think he's been on stream all that many times, aside from when he's casting, so it's going to be a nice treat to really see him and showcase what he can do with this Falcon.
Yep, I'll be very interested to see it, yes.
Oh, throwing paper. Did he throw paper twice?
I think, yeah, the double paper.
The double paper. Interesting start. You know, like, we think about this, and I think that rock is, like, the most dominant, toss in RPS, but that's also like from like a casual standpoint, right? Where I think like most folks who don't study RPS,
that's like Marth forward smash. It's so good. I just press it and you die.
Yeah, you just press it. Exactly.
Well, I have the shield button right here that just covers up that.
Paper beats rock, shields beat Marths sometimes.
Sometimes.
But getting into match number 1, Falco versus Falcon. So for this match, for a little bit for me, you know, obviously both of these characters have some fantastic tools, but what can we really expect from neutral, and what are their objectives whenever they look at a map, especially like Yoshi's?
Very nice. So Falcon in this matchup wants to play at a sort of mid-range. Oh, very unfortunate. So the Falco lasers will do a really good job of shutting down Falcon's movement, all the dash dancing and all those sort of setups, but only if Falco actually gets enough range to set the lasers up. Around at a mid-range, it's going to be very easy for Falcon to just jump in and like nair over it, similar to like that, or even full hop and drop down with aerials.
And that's the thing that really strikes me about this stage selection that we're seeing. While Falco has some really devastating combos if your punish game is on point, I don't feel like it really enables Falco to use his lasers very proficiently. And what we're seeing kind of as a result of that is that BearFortress, despite the constricted stage size, has been able to maneuver as freely as he really wants to, and Element has not been able to do much to shut him out. He gets a little bit started with that and ends up trading away his last stock.
Well, the down air did kill him, so I suppose at that point in time, that's the small victory.
It's the worth question mark?
Worth question mark.
But no, from Element, we definitely saw a couple of SDs here and there.
Yes.
Thinking into his mind, I don't know about him personally, but for me, whenever I play on like a stage like Yoshi's, I feel like I'm so prone to SDs just because of how restricted it can be at times. So maybe he might be thinking about switching things up to a larger stage like Pokemon Stadium, or potentially even going with a character swap. But the only issue with that is if you give Falcon too much free reign, then you yourself have an entirely different problem.
Right, yeah. It's kind of depends on how you want to play it. If you want to play it more evasive, or if you want to play it more like get up in Falcon's face and, you know, just put pressure on him and take down his stock. Because just like that, just a couple of stray hits on Falcon, his recovery is not very impressive. Those Shrines will take it at a very low percent.
Great turnaround there from Element. I'm loving to see him starting to shake off the cobwebs a bit and start waking up. But whoa, BearFortress, unorthodox with that up tilt. Almost gets the knee as well, but Element able to go and put in that shield just in time. The down throw. What was he thinking whenever he went for that option? It's not usually a throw that I see too often whenever I cast Fox matches.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Up throw probably would have been more efficient. Like, there are guaranteed follow-ups the Fox can get against Falcon for up throw, but probably just a preference thing. Looking for the tech chase. You know, you can do some tricky stuff. Good spacing.
Oh yeah, very well spaced.
If you do get a good read, like where your opponent wants to go after the Fox down throw, you can do stuff to them.
But you know, Fox can also do those Fox things, and having a very lackluster recovery makes Falcon even more susceptible to getting shine spiked. But BearFortress, eager to make up for his woes, almost gets him with a back air, but that tricky angle from Element prevents him from nailing the correct option. BearFortress back on the offensive, getting stuffed out though by these bears. It seems like he's having a much harder time creating openings in this game in contrast to that last game.
Yeah, Element is doing a good job fighting sort of up close and personal, which Fox is I imagine, a little bit better at. And since he's a little bit more mobile, can do a better job of setting up his attacks at a very close space with, whenever he's sort of on the clock, so to say, whenever his opponent's getting ready to get in and disrupt him as soon as possible.
And it seemed like at the first interaction of this stock, BearFortress switched things up where he's playing a bit more reactionary than proactive with his Falcon. And it allowed Element, who I think is feeling a little bit hot after those nice shine spikes, to overextend and made him get grabbed. Huge knee there, subpar DI. BearFortress back on the board with the lead.
Oh, very good nair to counter hit the approach. It is. You might be surprised. Might be surprised by those wave shines, but you also might be surprised with Falcon neutral air. Actually has a lot of range. It has more range than Fox neutral air itself. So if Fox is coming in with to try and neutral air add Falcon in neutral, and Falcon knows it, if he nairs ahead of time, it will cut him out of that approach.
I'll tell you what, Element's a bit of a lab monster, I feel, He doesn't necessarily make the best decisions when it comes to neutral, but I feel like whenever he's calmed down and whenever he's able to get some of these openings, some of the stuff that he can pull off is pretty fun to watch. But
kneeing the tip of his foot, that will be a favorable trade.
Definitely. And we saw that at the beginning of both of those final stocks, where Element feels a little hot. He goes in with an unsafe approach, and BearFortress reacts to it and punishes it perfectly.